Greetings, welcome to the Power of Purpose. It's me again, Anton NM. It's wonderful to be with you once more. And I have a special guest today. It's my mother. She has been a great woman. Now, you should understand that sometimes we walk through shadows, we walk through darkness. And they say that for a star to shine, there must be darkness. And sometimes you've heard the scientists, the philosophers, they say sometimes the star has been birthed 25 years before you can see it beams of the light at night. It has survived darkness for 25 years. Today's special guest, Dr. Lydias Childhood. She's my mother, my mentor, my lecturer, my teacher, and we're going to hear some of the stories during her walk as a child, as a teenager, and as an adult in the path to apartheid and become or receiving independence and freedom. That is our amazing story today. So thank you for tuning in. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes. Having gone through your book and listened to some of your presentations, I thought it was imperative and important for our viewers, Namibian nation and Africa, to be able to have some of the glimpse of what you have written in the book, Walking the Bull, 707. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Mom, we'll start by, there are people there. I know you as my mother, you're my lecturer, my doctor, and there are people who want to know who is Lydias Childhood. So, how would you describe yourself in a few words?
Lydias Childhood is actually an adult educator by profession. I was born in Onelewa in Omsati region, meaning I'm a full Namibian. I think unless if there is something in addition to that.
Okay, she's a lecturer as well, okay, at the University of Namibia. She's an author, so that is just to, where was Lydias Childhood born and how did you grow up?
Lydia, as I said, was born in a village in Onelewa.
Yes.
This is now in Omsati region.
Yes.
And that is where I grew up to the age of 14 when I went into exile.
Okay.
Yeah, before exile, that's where we have founded Mahangu, like all other children in the house.
Yes.
That's where I went to school, the basic schools like grade 1. At the time, we used to have standard A and B. So I left when I was in, is it now grade 3? What would be sub 3 or something?
Sub 3.
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember.
Yeah, you can't equate
but it was
the two.
Equivalent probably to grade 5 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the time. So,
Okay.
yeah. And that is when I left. And
How old are you when you left?
I was 14.
14. Okay.
And that was in, I left actually on the 12th of August, 1974.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was now going into exile.
going into exile.
Before we get to about your departure into exile at 14, I would want to know, at an early age, did you receive both parental love?
Parental love.
Yes.
In its way of a word, probably, because that has a lot of connotations.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say we had, when I say we, is myself and my siblings, we had a home where we had food to eat,
Okay.
where the parents were busy to provide for us clothing, and it was in the house that we were taught how to do chores. So in a way, yes. But if you look on the other side, parental love at that time was not as visual as now.
Okay.
Right now you have a child, you can hug your child, you can talk, you can do you can go walking, you can do anything with a child.
Yes.
But during those days, particularly with men, they were not very accommodating.
Okay.
So for a father, he will be there and knowing that he has children, okay.
Yeah.
But does not say now, children, you have to come and so I can hug you, you can be sitting around me or whatever, unless if you sit around a fire when there is a storytelling, yes, then maybe we can say yes. But all in all, I would actually still say yes. We received parental love. Yeah.
Parental love. Okay, so it may not just be as maybe others perceive it or yours.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because others would actually think parental love comes with hugging, comes with giving a lot. Our fathers did not have much to give in material terms.
Yeah.
But he was there and my mother was there. And I think, yeah,
Okay.
it was parental love.
Then a little bit slight, we're gonna move into at 14, you begin to make thoughts, as you said it in your book, to go into exile. What was happening at that time?
You know, at the age of 14, you cannot really just sit and think because you did not also know. I didn't actually know very much that there was this kind of apartheid and everything.
Yes.
There wasn't much in schools to inform us of all that.
Yeah.
But then there was a teacher, is late, may his soul rest in peace, teacher Balkias Heimbodi,
Yes.
was one of our teachers. He went to a demonstration, as he called it.
Yeah.
And when he came back, then he wanted to inform us of what was happening. This was in Oshikango, I think in 1974.
Yeah.
And when he came back, he then told us, well, Namibia is not free, and then he tried to explain, but he was explaining it in such a way that it was educational.
Okay.
Because he put it in a way that if you go, like, for example, people are going into exile, and people are going to Zambia, that was now to Zambia, and if you go to Zambia, you would then learn English, you would learn how to do things, you will be free, and not only free, but free in mind.
Yes.
And I wanted to be, what is being free in mind? I wanted that.
Yes.
I want to be free in mind. I don't know what he meant by that.
Yes.
Does it mean my mind will be free? Not knowing is about ability to think and perceive issues and judge.
Yes.
I did not know that, but then that actually motivated me most. So when he was telling us, he was just telling the whole class. After the class, then the two of us decided, why can't we go? He was talking about going to Oshikango.
Yes.
Well, we do not know where Oshikango is, but it is somewhere. We will just find out. Then this friend of mine said, yeah, let's go. Then we said, when do you think we can go? Today, because apparently if you plan something, you just have to go.
Yes.
Because if you don't go, then the South Africans army might hear and you'll be beaten.
Yes.
So we decided, okay. Then one boy also decided, okay, I will join you. Then we said, okay. So he joined. And on that very day, the 12th of August, we left.
Yeah.
And so, because Oshikango was very far from where we lived, so the boy had his Philemon. He had a bicycle.
Yeah.
So we decided he brings his bicycle so that we can actually ride.
Okay.
But remember, we were 3, so
Yes.
he has to take one, and one will be holding and running behind. And then when one who is running is tired, then he will then be again on. Then we exchanged.
Yeah.
So that's how. But we did not arrive at Oskango on the very same day. We slept at one Kunda called Engala, somewhere
Yes.
near Oshikango. And when we entered the house, this man was really, he was curious to know where we were going at the age. Now I can actually understand why he was so particularly wanted to know where we were going.
Yeah.
So we told him we were going for a Sunday school at Enana.
Yeah.
I don't know how we were going to go to Enana on foot because it's very far.
Yes.
So, but the man, I think, knew that we were not telling the truth.
Okay.
So we overheard him telling his wife that I'm going to send these children back tomorrow because I think they are going to Zambia. So we said, okay. Around 5 or probably 4 in the morning, we left his house because we knew he was going to take us back.
Yeah.
So we went to Oshikango, and to Oshikango there now we heard that people have to pay $16 to be taken to Onjiva. Unfortunately, we just left a classroom. We did not have anything.
Yeah.
And then it's something again.
Wow. So we're going to proceed. I know the whole story is in the book, but that at 14, you are now going through a development into adolescent. And I do understand that in your times, it took a little bit longer to develop compared to our times, maybe because of food and other factors that have contributed. But as you grow into that moment, you're moving. And I know maybe at 14, you'll find yourself 16, you're still on the other side. 15, 16, 17, you're on the other side. I wanted to know, were there any peer pressure that people are facing today? Did you face some similar challenges?
You know, with peer pressure, remember, that was just one component of growing up.
Yeah.
When we were now going to Zambia. But in Zambia we stayed, and then we were sent to secondary schools in other countries where we have been. We have been to several other countries still as youth.
Yeah.
And we did not have, the peer pressure was there, but not in the term as probably it means now. Now it means if you cannot do this, then people look at you as if you are less developed, or you are less of a girl, or you are of that.
Yes.
With us, we really did not have much, and we did not have much to experience because in the camps, there were activities of the camps.
Yes.
At school, there were activities of schools, and we were seen as refugees, and all that we did was perceived in the lenses of being a refugee.
Yes.
In whatever we were in school, we were older. We were 2 in our school where we went to Sierra Leone, West Africa. And the way we spoke at the time also, English, compared to the younger ones that we found.
Yes.
But to us, it did not matter. And also to the people that we found there, because we were refugees. So everything that we did, whether good, whether bad, it was actually perceived on that perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, pressure was there, but not to the extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't say you face pressures like what are young people facing today? Of course, today is general. You are in the camp, so today they are facing peer pressure on alcohol, sexual issues, different kind of peer pressures that are facing. So it may not be similar to your peer pressure you're facing.
They were really not that.
Yeah.
Actually, probably the generation that we were in was far better in a way. I'm not saying this one is not better. Maybe this one is actually the best. But the one that we were not so much interested in boyfriend affairs.
Okay.
We were more although I'm not saying the 100%, there were a few, but the majority of our youth, we were there to go to school. We were there to do whatever was there to be done.
Yes.
In the camps, there wasn't much really, because all you have to do is work. You work, you go to school, you eat, you work, you go to school, you eat, and there wasn't anything much. Your age now is because you are watching TV, you have cell phones. We did not have cell phones, we did not have laptops, we did not have computers. So there wasn't really anything that would provoke the inner thought to think of otherwise.
When you went into exile from Angola to Zambia and many other countries, what did freedom mean to you?
Freedom actually came to mean something after I have left Namibia.
Okay.
Although we had teacher Haimbodi who had explained the demonstrations and everything that was all about, I did not really understand the insight of what he was talking about.
Yes.
And then when we went to Zambia, is when I realized, oh, this is what is happening. This is what is happening in Namibia, and that's why now I started maybe with the age when I was also then growing up.
Yes.
I now started to reflect back and then see that's why our fathers have been going out for almost 2 years before they could come back home. Now, if we were free, then things will change. But things will not only change, but it would also need the mind that Teacher Imbodi was talking about.
Yes.
It is actually the mind that needs to change. Because if the mind does not change, everything will remain the same. We fought and we came back. But the majority of us remained in the old version of apartheid. We sat and waited for government to provide. We sat and waited for someone to say something before we can act. I am also not saying people should have money to start up their own businesses, but ideas can still be generated. So freedom, to come to your question, freedom really means a lot. It means you are free as a person to be able to express yourself, to be able to do what other people are doing in the global, to write as you are writing, to talk, to associate. That is part of it. But freedom is also of the mind to be able to reflect and think and judge and come up with new issues. We are talking about people who have been under apartheid for so long, and they have been told that they are less probably human. They are less important. They are, even a man would be called a boy. After independence, maybe people waited for someone, although there have been several platforms that are saying we are now free, we should work on our economics, but probably we needed someone to tell us that we are equal, a black, white, yellow, name it, although it is still being said, but probably it was not understood in the way. Because you find our people probably still feeling uneasy, still feeling unimportant. Yeah, there are several factors that could contribute to this, and I'm not denying that.
Yes.
You cannot start to really now feel your head up, or you put your head up when you are very poor. You need to have some little income to allow you to be the person that you are. But then also probably the government there has not done enough to make people realize their own potential, particularly the people from Exile.
Exile.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'll draw you a little bit backwards, Doctor. In the narration, either in the book or the previous presentation I heard you speak about, now from Angola, you were put into trucks. And then about 2-3 trucks, they have to follow each other as you're crossing from Angola into Zambia. And there was this riverbed where it's a risk. It's either you die or if you go back, you die, or you move forward. Now, I'm driving to that point why you had so much in your time, in your fight of liberation struggle. You people, you had so much determination and so much focus. And I'm wondering, why did you have so much determination and so much focus in that moment as you move forward?
You know, when you are told and when you have seen, for those who have seen,
yes.
For us who were young at that time, we just needed someone to tell us.
Okay.
When you are told what apartheid meant, its impact on the people,
yes.
How people were being treated, and now you are here told that the solution is in your own hands. We have to do this so that we can free ourselves.
Yeah.
So the determination has to come because you want the goodness, you want the life to be better, not the apartheid way of living. So the determination came in because you want to achieve.
Yes.
It is actually that either I achieve this goal or I die. Because there was no need for you to be treated less human when you can actually take up a solution in your own hand and change the situation. So the determination was actually of that we really have to do it, irrespective of how much or what is involved in it.
Yeah.
We needed to go, we needed to fight it, and we needed to free ourselves.
Yeah.
Only then we can actually be the people that we wanted to be, or we want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was part of the determination. I'll move a little bit forward. I'll be going back referring to the book. You have written the book and you have told the story of your walk through the liberation struggle to freedom. What drove you to begin to write the book, and what did you want people, when they read this book, as Namibians, even us who are growing up, whether beyond after you people have gone, what was a drive of writing, and what did you want us to learn?
You know, this book is written in such a way that I tried to take everyone along, to feel every situation that we have crossed as we were going to Zambia. And then in the camps, and then the perspectives of being in a foreign country, in like we have been to Sierra Leone and all others. Yeah, I wanted people to read. I wanted people to, as they read, to really feel this is how people were. Not that I wanted you to feel the pain that we felt, although obviously being human, reading like you were talking of the walking, we had walked, and I had described it how it was. almost every step, you will actually feel as I have described it. But that is not the pity. I'm not looking after people being pitying people who went into exile.
Yes.
But I want people to just realize that it was also not easy. Yeah, it was not easy, particularly moving from here to Zambia, being there. In Zambia, I have explained about life in camps. And then I have also explained now Lydia as a young person from a village getting into a city. I don't know whether you have read when I also went to Finland, what happened to at the airport.
Yes.
Several, and even in Zambia when we were going to West Africa, the first encounter with an escalator, you know, those are just to show that a person from a mere village who had not even crossed to this part of the world, even at Onamtune, I've never been there. And now, all of a sudden, I happen to be in a different environment. The transformation of all this is all that I have written the book for people to read along and to reflect also, and just to see what happened as we went.
Can you give us some of the highlights? I know you have highlighted in the book, and some people, as you get the book, you're going to get the full information. Now, one of the incidents, I laughed a little bit, but it was as well painful, the escalator story. What really happened?
Well, we have heard, we have been hearing that, it wasn't actually someone who came there to tell us. Similar to the title of the book. Probably you would want me to explain that as well. But the escalator is that we heard that, this is a moving something, and if you do not take your feet, they might cut your feet off. So we really had to be sure that we jump as high as possible so that our feet will not be
cut off.
Oh, yes. We had to do that. And at that time we were with comrade late Kalenga, and he stood there. Only now that I'm actually feeling this. He stood there looking at us, and we were jumping with our little bags on our back, and we were about probably 30 or so, and everyone was jumping high. And he never said anything. He was just looking at us. Only now that I'm realizing that he was saying, my goodness, what is going on? Well, it's the experience. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So those was a part of the experience. Earlier you wanted to explain how you arrived at the title of the book.
Yes. Also, the book is Walking the Boeing 707.
Yes.
Somewhere in Onjiva, when we arrived in Onjiva, there were some rumors just by other people, not necessarily that someone came to say, now people, we are going to go to Zambia by plane. Nobody had said that.